In this video, and with the help of some lighting fixtures from iFootage, we're going to take this not-so-pleasing visual scene, as you're now seeing, and transform it into something like what you are now seeing using only lighting and how you can apply a similar look to almost any room or situation that you're in. Now, for full disclosure, iFootage sent me these lighting fixtures to talk about and sort of use in a video review, though they do not get any input into this video, nor do they get to see it before I post it, and no money exchanged hands here. That said, I do get to keep these lights as part of doing this video, so just bear that in mind. Now, for full disclosure, I am filming this with my Sony a7R5 using the 16 to 35mm f2.8 G Master lens at the aperture of f2.8. And while this may seem like a very curated or somewhat polished YouTuber or sit-down video interview set, I can assure you that this room is anything but that. So let's discuss how we can get to a room and visual setup like this, coming from where we started from, which, as you will see in a second, looks very, very different. So if we take a trip back in time to how this room started, you will see that this room was not set up in any way, shape, or form to film video in, just judging by the lighting. Now again, we're using the same camera, the same lens, and everything else here, but the key difference is we're only utilizing right now the actual lights that are in my apartment. And yes, overall this is just a mixture of a lot of LED and compact fluorescent bulbs, generally in and around the 3200 to 3000 soft white color temperature that you'll find in most of these bulbs. And even though this might seem a bit obvious in that perhaps my white balance is off because it is currently set to 5600 in my Sony a7R5, even if I were to adjust this to compensate for the color temperatures that I'm now primarily dealing in the room, this still does not look good. We have no dedicated light source on me to illuminate me as the subject of this video, and even in terms of the general lighting in and around in this environment, it doesn't lead to a particularly pleasing image. So one of the first things we really just want to do is get rid of the lights in the room and have a good starting point. Now, of course, if I were to do this, you're going to notice a completely dark and essentially pitch black room, which isn't going to be suitable for video, of course, itself, but it will at least provide a good starting point for you to be able to think about what lights you do intentionally want in your shot and within this space. And perhaps if there is one light that is going to be most critical here, it is a main light that will illuminate your subject, or in this case, what is typically known as a key light. And so if we were to add a proper key light to this setup, you would have a lighting setup that looks at least something like this. And so we should now talk about our first and arguably most important light from iFootage as part of this setup, which is the HL1 C4. Now this is technically a 70 watt, 5600 Kelvin daylit balanced LED fixture, which is part of iFootage's Anglerfish series of LED lights, and that also includes a 220 and 320 model. And if there's one thing these Anglerfish lights have come to be known for, it is perhaps their color accuracy. Because yes, with a CRI value of 98 and a TLCI value of 99, this light is pretty much best in class when it comes to color accuracy. Now this light can be powered in a number of ways, as it includes an AC power adapter, and there's also a separate V-mount handheld accessory that would allow you to attach a V-mount battery and hand-hold the light for portable use, though the light also does accept power delivery via USB-C if you choose to go that route. Now the light overall is extremely small and lightweight, weighing in at just around 1.7 pounds. The SL1 60DN does contain a nice mounting bracket and yoke design that should allow you to quickly add this to any light stand that you choose to use it with. Now on the rear of the light you have a well-lit and easy-to-see LCD display that allows you to control all the main functions of the light, everything from controlling brightness to cycling the different effects of the light, which yes, it does have 8 different effects you could use if you so choose. Controlling the fan speed of the light, which yes, by default goes in an automatic mode, and overall I would say is extremely quiet, and yes, also quieter than some other 60 watt fixtures that I've used and compared it to. You can also perform a Bluetooth reset from the rear of the light, which yes, this light is controllable via Bluetooth and using iFootage's Lumin app, which we'll talk about in a bit. But I think another thing worth talking about with this light is just how bright it is compared to some other fixtures in its class. So yes, this light can output up to 12,200 lux at around a meter, or a little over 3 feet, and this light comes with a reflector that helps in terms of casting the light and achieving that maximum brightness. That said, with a light as bright and as powerful as it is, even for its size, you're going to want to think about ways you can diffuse or sort of lessen the intensity and strength of that light when it hits your subject. Now in this case, what you're seeing on me right now is just at 10% of the light's intensity. And yes, that is not just 10% of the light hitting me directly, but actually 10% plus some additional layers of diffusion we're applying here. And yes, in order to facilitate that, we're actually utilizing a couple of additional iFootage accessories. So yes, iFootage does have a separate Bowens mount adapter that you can use with the SL1 60DN that will allow you to attach all sorts of different Bowens mount compatible accessories and fixtures and adapters. Now this is incredibly useful because the Bowens mount is the standard way you're going to adapt different things like softboxes to a light like this. And yes, it just so happens to be that we are utilizing an iFootage softbox with this light to help diffuse it. So yes, iFootage does make a couple of different softboxes. This includes a 23.6 or 60 centimeter softbox option, which is what we're using here, and also a 90 centimeter or roughly 35-inch softbox option that can illuminate a larger portion of your subject or your scene. Now this softbox is very intuitive to use. All of the different rods that support the softbox easily click into place, and of course you can retract them to collapse the softbox into a smaller form factor when you're not using it just as easily. It comes with an attachable sort of reflector level of diffusion, which snaps into place. Also a main Velcro attached layer of diffusion, and of course a grid to help and reduce spill of the light. So what you're now seeing is the SL1 60DN using that Bowens mount adapter with the iFootage 23.6-inch softbox at, yes, 10% intensity. Now technically the setup isn't necessarily bad, although it is very dark and moody, we might say. And if we had additional lights here, we might add a fill light to sort of complement the other side of my face here, and or a backlight or rim light to sort of illuminate the rear part of my head to give me some separation from the rest of this scene. But there's not much going on in the rest of this scene, and that might be sort of its own interesting challenge or problem. Because as interesting of a shot as this now is, we might want a bit more going on in the background to sort of help make myself and some of the other things in the scene pop a bit more. And so in order to do that, we're going to add a couple of additional lights from iFootage, which are the HL1 C4. Now these are tiny RGBW LED fixtures that have a color temperature range going from 2700 to 10,000 Kelvin. So yes, not just conventional CCT colors, but also all of the different colors you would expect throughout the RGB range. And even though this light isn't quite up to the color accuracy of, say, the SL160DN, it does maintain a CRI value of 95+, so you can certainly ensure that the different colors that this light will emit are also going to be very color accurate and certainly up to standard with other fixtures in its range. Now this light also does have a set of tactile controls and an LCD display on it to be able to control the different features of the light, but of course it also does have Bluetooth control and can be controlled through iFootage's Lumin app, as we'll see in a second. And this light can run for up to 120 minutes on its internal battery, depending of course on what intensity you're using. Yet this light also does have the ability to be both powered and charged by its USB-C port. And to add to the flexibility and versatility of the light, the rear of the light is magnetic, so you should be able to stick this light to different surfaces as you need to. And this light does come with a shoe mount that should allow you to quickly adapt it to your camera or other quick shooting situations. And yes, there is a 1/4-20 screw on the bottom of these lights where the shoe mount would go into, so of course, you can adapt this in myriad different ways to different light stands and so on. Now the HL1 C4 does come in a variety of different colors. I have the black model, as you can see. But let's actually add these lights to our scene here using iFootage's Lumin app and go through that just briefly. So when I open the app here, as you're going to see, you'll have one or more projects that you can set up to be paired with any of iFootage's different lights that support the app. So just loading this one project that I have here, you'll see that not only do we see all our fixtures here, but I also have the ability to update and download new firmware for these lighting fixtures through the app. Now the fun fact here is I've actually gone through firmware updates with each of my iFootage lights using the app, and they went through flawlessly, which is something I can't always exactly say for every manufacturer and their ability to update their lights. So kudos to iFootage. So as you'll see in the app when it comes to, say, the SL160DN, I can easily control the intensity of this light using the built-in slider here and get it to a very, very bright, ridiculously bright, you might say, range. And of course, if I can't precisely get the intensity that I want using the slider, I can enter that value directly. Now, of course, as I just mentioned, because you can update the firmware version of the light using the Lumin app, you can also, of course, check the current version of each light's firmware just to make sure that it is up to date. You also easily have the ability to toggle these lights off or back on. And yes, you can also adjust things like the dimming curve of the light, all of the different effects of the light, as you're now seeing. And yes, using your camera's microphone, this light does have the ability to sort of sync to the music depending on its decibel level, the pattern, and the rhythm of what you're listening to. But just to get us back to where we were before, if we were to go in and start adding some of these HL1 C4 fixtures into our scene, you'll see here I can start to bring up the intensity of those lights, so we get a nice look that we're going for. And as you can see here right now, I'm using this in HSI mode, so I have a different color selected. Of course, I can choose any color, whether that's green or red or sort of a purple here. I'll go back to this sort of aqua tone that we have. But I could just as easily go into CCT mode and control color temperature this way through everything from 2700 to 10,000 Kelvin. I could adjust the tint on that as well, leaning more into pink, going more into green, and also just choose from some of its different CCT presets, which are very handy and helpful depending on what type of color and look you're going for. Now, if the HSI mode isn't intuitive enough for picking color, you can also use the RGBW mode and do a similar sort of color selection pattern, just moving sort of your thumb as a cursor essentially across the different square to find the color and tone that you're looking for. You also have XY coordinates as another means of being able to pick color, a gel-based mode for selecting different color tones if and as you desire, and yes, an effects mode for doing very similar things as you could with the SL1 60DN, but in this case, even more options compared to what we saw before, and many of these, of course, now containing RGBW values rather than just pure daylight. Now, if we add our other HL1 C4 into the mix here, you'll see that we have this set to a yellow tone, also at around 72%. And so in this case, we have a nice pop of color here, just adding some of these little lights into the shelf behind me. And that adds a nice visual element of distinction compared to this shot and what we had before, which was just completely dark behind me. Now, you might argue there's even a bit more we could do here, which in this case, I would agree. Not all of necessarily the lights we had in this space were completely unusable, and so now it's sort of up to us to maybe add in some of those other lights to add additional visual interest and intrigue where we see fit. And in this case, I can think of at least two things that might be useful to add back in. One of those, of course, is just this little $30 desk lamp from Amazon behind me here that I think, when on, adds a nice little pop to what we already have going on here. And then the second of those being these bar counter lights that we have behind me here, that while not completely controlled in terms of color tone and everything, I think in its small enough form, and with all the other lights still off, still adds sort of a nice punch, as we have sort of a nice cooler, more medium tone here, some nice color interest going on behind me, and then sort of a warm background that can kind of contrast with all of that. Now, there's a number of different ways you could set up a shot like this, and arguably these practicals that were already in my apartment are part of the equation, but when it really comes down to it, it's these fixtures from iFootage like the SL1 60DN and the HL1 C4s that I think really make the scene and the shot. But we should also briefly just talk about price here for what it would take to actually achieve a look like this. So the SL1 60DN retails for as low as $120 US that I have seen on the market, and that is essentially a steal for what you're getting with that. Now, there are additional options and packages such as the bundle version of this light that include the Bowens mount adapter that I mentioned, and a nice soft bag that iFootage includes with it. That said, you can also purchase these things separately if and when you so choose. Now, the softbox that I mentioned from iFootage comes in at a little less than $120 US for that 23.6-inch version, or $130 US for the 35-inch version. And given what you find on the market, I would say this is a relatively standard price for any sort of similar softbox that you would find out there. Yet another really good value here is the HL1 C4s, which retail for a little less than $40 US, and given that price point, essentially add up to be some of the cheapest RGBW LED lights that are on the market in their size and price point. Now, I'm not necessarily including things like a light stand for the SL1 60DN or any of these sort of practical elements behind me here that are already in my apartment, but truly for around $300 to $400 US, you can get this exact same iFootage lighting setup and be able to take any space, whether it's your living room or anywhere else, and transform it into a space that is ready to shoot video in merely a matter of a few steps. So that is how you can level up your lighting setup with just a couple of fixtures from iFootage in the way that I showed you here. Hopefully this video has been of some help to you. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe if it has. A lot more to talk about regarding lighting on this channel, and there are a number of videos on that topic already that I would definitely encourage you to check out. Should I do more videos here in my living room with this sort of setup? Let me know in the comments below, or if you have any questions about any of the fixtures I talked about. For now, that is all I have to say, so thanks for watching.